Welcome to Scofield Farm. My name is Carice. We are in Northern California, Zone 9B, where we can grow food year-round. Today I'm starting basil, and I'm very excited. Basil is very key to our garden. We grow it both for the culinary part of it, but also as a natural pest control. People have asked me in the past what I do for pest control, and I don't even use organic sprays. I like to keep it really simple. And one of the things I love to do to prevent pests in my garden is to interplant herbs and flowers and vegetables that sometimes will mask the odor of another plant, or they will act as a trap crop. And so basil is one of those that really helps to be interspersed in the garden in all different places. Last year I think we had 4 kinds, but we've expanded to 6. And I'm also gonna start a few kale seeds, because even though I have kale that have grown all winter long and now into the spring, some of those will probably start wilting. And so I want to have some fresh kale to be coming up, and then we will finish off that kale as it bolts. Some of it might not bolt. I've actually had a kale live for a year and a half straight before, but I like to have fresh plants just in case. So the 6 varieties of basil that we're growing this year, I'm going to do a lemon basil for the first time this year. I love citrus. As you've probably seen on my channel, I have several videos that are pretty popular about citrus. We grow a lot of citrus here. We live in California, Northern California, Zone 9B. So citrus does grow in our climate. We have both potted citrus and in-ground citrus. So a basil that's citrusy, I've actually never grown one. This is new to us this year. It was given to me by my physical therapist. We are going to grow Thai basil, and my Thai basil I think is just saved seeds right now. I've grown Thai basil for years. One of my favorite ways to use Thai basil is we make a lot of curries, and I will even dry the Thai basil to use all winter long, and we'll put Thai basil at the very end as like a finishing of a curry. It is so, so good. It also has kind of a licoricey flavor, and so I will make a hot tea with Thai basil and enjoy that at night, and I love it. I don't know. I know licorice is kind of something that people either love or they hate. You can tell me in the comments below if you're a licorice lover or a licorice flavor hater. We're also gonna grow lime basil, and this lime basil is amazing. My aunt gave it to me. It is saved seeds from her basil she grew, and the seeds itself actually smell so much like the rind of a lime. It is fantastic. My husband's favorite citrus is lime. I think we're gonna really like this one. We're going to grow lettuce leaf basil for the first time. I have grown mammoth basil before. They seem very similar, but I'm gonna give mammoth basil a rest, try the lettuce leaf, see if I like it better or if I think of them as pretty much the same. These are really big. You can use them as wraps. You know what? Honestly, I use a lot of my sweeter basils for pesto. I'll make huge batches of pesto all summer long into the fall. We will freeze it in cupcake trays, muffin trays, and we will get those little pucks. We'll throw those all into different gallon Ziploc bags, and we will have pesto all winter long. It is one of my favorite easy meals, food storage kind of preparation things to do, is to make tons of pesto and to freeze it. Then also we're going to do Emily basil, which Emily basil for us, that's the sweet Italian basil that we use. You can say I both have saved seeds and the original seed pack in here. It's a really nice Italian basil, very reliable. And it's a great one, as I said, for pest control too. And then my friend last year gave me some of her Tulsi basil. It's also called holy basil. And so I have her seeds. I also saved seeds of my own. This one was my very favorite nightly tea. It is super calming. I don't know. It's got a lot of health benefits. I could list them for you if I look them up, but I just want to say, make this short, it is wonderful. If you haven't had fresh Tulsi basil tea, I would try it. Even if you don't like the tea from the store, I'm someone who loves herbal teas, but I like the fresh ones better. If I grow my own chamomile, I like that as tea better than the tea bags that maybe are kind of stale chamomile at the store. I feel like growing your teas is just a whole nother level of experience. So these are the ones we're trying, and then I'm gonna also do a kale. I have a tray, it has 60 cells. The cells are 1 by 1, and they have a little place that you can kind of poke out the bottom. They are very small. They're not meant to be in here very long. So I filled them with seed starter. I will get these germinating, and then I will move them up to a bigger cup size And then we can actually start hardening these off fairly soon because we don't have very much of a wait longer until we're past our frost date. Our technical last frost date online on Farmer's Almanac is March 16th. I have never found that to be quite accurate, but it's a safe guess here to plant mid-April. Even if we didn't have frost for 4 weeks, usually the soil starts to warm up, nights be around high 40s, low 50s consistently in the mid to end of April. So that's when I'll shoot to actually plant these out. So we'll get them germinated, we'll cut them up, we'll start hardening them off, and it will be here planting time before you even know it. Right now, it is 1 week into March. So this is like the big spring push to get seeds started, get things going. I'm just gonna do this super easy, except that I'm one-handed. I figured this out with tomatoes and flowers. I did those one-handed, and I figured if I poured them into my hand that I had surgery on my shoulder, I could pick them up with the other hand fairly easily. I think I'm gonna sow 2 seeds per cell. These are very small seeds, so you don't have to plant them very deep. I pretty much just need to plant them and then cover them super lightly with a starter mix, and that's all. It's really easy to plant basil. And I try never to plant basil too far ahead of time. I don't want to have to put it in a very big cup. I like to keep it in kind of a smaller cup. That way I can plant them out in the garden while they're still fairly small. Okay, let's see here. I can't even see it, like blends in. Okay. We also have some big plans to plant out our potatoes, and I'm going to show you that too. We are going to do grow bags this year. We have had a little potato section in our garden that I kind of made a raised bed on the ground without having the hardware cloth underneath or the wood around it, but it was just kind of one of those things where you kind of have to make more space, and I had fenced in space, but I didn't have money for making a raised bed, and it's worked pretty well for potatoes for a couple years, but I felt like that space needed a little bit of a rotation. So we're trying raised beds. I've heard pros and cons for our very hot region. Some people say it's not very good here, they dry out too fast. I've got a couple ideas to try to keep them from drying out, and we'll just see if it works for me or if it doesn't work for me. Maybe you could tell me in the comments what kind of basil you've grown and if there is a favorite that you have. As I said, the 2 citrus varieties are new to me this year, but I really have liked all the basils we've grown in the past. I don't think I've had a basil yet that I didn't enjoy. I can almost surface sow them, they're so little. I love watching seeds germinate. It's super exciting. I think it's one of the funnest parts of gardening, honestly. Seeing little things poke their head up out of the soil. It's just so cool. Okay. I'm going to cover these all lightly with seed starter mix. I'm going to spray them in and then bottom water them. We actually have some leftover rainwater that we collected in buckets. It's been raining a lot here and plants like rainwater. So I'm gonna do the bottom watering with rainwater. I've been doing that the last couple of days with all my pepper starts, my tomato starts, my flowers, and I feel like they respond really well to it. Okay, a little bit of seed starter mix. I make my seed starter mix from peat moss, vermiculite, perlite, and a little bit of worm castings, and I mean little bit. Very little. They aren't in these trays very long, as I said. They don't need a ton of nutrition, but just a tiny bit. Okay. You want to get your seed starter mix damp, but you don't want it like thoroughly drenched, and you don't want it bone dry. You just want it dampened. That thing's a little hard and there's a little rock in there. Okay, let's figure this out. Okay. Spritz them in, and then I will show you what we're gonna do next. All right, very simple. I just actually labeled them with a little bit of masking tape I wrote on the edge, and that way it's very simple. I done it with the little tags, but I'll do that later when I plant them out. It's just too much to have a ton of little tags all in these little tiny 1x1 cells. And let's see if I can do this myself. Pour a little bit of this rainwater in here. All right, don't need very much. All right. I want to show you how my tomatoes are germinating. The tomatoes look so good. Look at that. Oh my goodness. As soon as we get some true leaves, we're going to start cupping them up to their own cups. Teeny tiny celery. Oh my goodness, those need their own cups. And lots of calendula. That's looking nice. I need to put that in its own cups. More peppers. Oh, you can see way back there, I need to put those leaves off the sweet potatoes. They're slips. I need to put them in water so they can root. I haven't done that yet. They are starting to bud out. These are a lot of cosmos and baby's breath, and we put them in their own cups today. Thanks for joining me. Happy planting, and I'll see you soon. I can't wait for this basil.